What's up guys, Dr. Brute7 signing in back with another video. This time I'm here with the TrimUI Smart Pro handheld console. Now a very special thanks to Mech DIY for sending me this review unit. This console has been in the market for quite some time, so I'm pretty sure a whole lot of you guys know about this. Before we get into the specifics, this would be much more about the upgraded operating system that is running on this device, Surwish CrossMix OS, that is based on the stock OS. So this is not a custom firmware, an upgraded and stabilized version of the already existing stock OS that comes in bundled with the device. So we're gonna start real quick with some of the pop-in features. Pop-in features is basically my way of saying that are the selling points of this device. So very first thing is the widescreen emulation compared to its other rival devices like the Anbernic RG40XX-H, the RG35XX-H. You can see that this has a better and wider screen, which means better visuals. I'm gonna talk about the resolution and all of that in a little bit. You can do PC streaming, which is through Moonlight, one of the applications that would allow you to stream PC games. So let's do a real quick unboxing and then we're gonna jump into the specifications. Alright, unboxing is done. Let's talk about the device specifications. So it comes on par with the RG devices, okay? Starting with the chipset, which is an all-winner A13 Plus. So you can play games seamlessly up to PlayStation 1. I've tried out the emulation on this device. Up till PlayStation 1, this device performs like a charm. With a bigger screen, it just makes things look so gorgeous. Even surprisingly, the PlayStation Portable emulation with the already bundled and included games, they run pretty well. I mean, at least for me. I'm speaking on behalf of a normal, general gamer standpoint. Out of the box, it's spot on. Dreamcast emulation is like okay-ish. These chipsets for all these devices, you're going to start experiencing hiccups as soon as you step into the PlayStation Portable Dreamcast emulation. The Nintendo DS emulation is also very awesome. So okay, now talking about the RAM, it has a 1 GB LPDDR4 RAM, 8 GB of internal storage, which is basically used to keep the system files have the system files installed. Mech DIY just sent me 128 GB SanDisk microSD card. You're gonna be getting something similar if you order it from their website. I'm gonna talk about the places to purchase this from. That's gonna come in later. Okay, now let's talk about the display. The TrimUI Smart Pro comes in with an almost 5 inches of display size, screen size.
It all a 5-inch Punisher, baby, pachinchi.
As opposed to the RG40XX-H, which is basically 4 inches, and then we have the 3.5 incher, which is the RG35XX-H. It's LCD, and also the resolution is 1280 by 720, so basically it's 720 pixel resolution. You are going to get crisp display when it comes to the retro gaming. Now let's talk about the battery. It's 5000 megahertz, which will give you a 4 to 8 hours of battery backup. 2.4 gigahertz Wi-Fi and Bluetooth. I haven't used the Bluetooth. I barely use the Bluetooth features. However, I have, from what I've heard from and seen from the other reviews, it's pretty decent. Updated customized software, as I've said, which is the CrossMix Surwish Cross OS. There's also RGB lights. Now personally, I like the RGB lightings of the TrimUI Smart Pro. They're almost the same. It's just that the structurization, for some reason, they look too good. But one of the drawbacks, there is no HDMI port. There is no HDMI port. so you won't be able to consolize this handheld. These are the prominent features of the selling points of this console, minus the lack of HDMI port. If we talk about the operating system, the updated models of the TrimUI Smart Pro comes with, it's a CrossMix OS, an improved version of the stock OS. Like I've said, you can use a built-in scraping application. There's screen recorder, then there's Portmaster, there's sync thing. I've never used this feature. It allows you to sync the games from other systems that uses this app. And Bernick also uses this. So you can be, oh, hello friend, let's share and care. Let's quickly talk about the external features like the shoulder buttons. Now the shoulder buttons of this device, of the TrimUI Smart Pro, is very well made as compared to the RG40XXH, which is also premium but more clicky. If we make a comparison with the Switch Lite, which is very quiet and softer, so just minor difference with the Switch Lite's shoulder button. The RG40XXH's design and the button placements, they are awesome. I love this device's button placements and I love the finishing as well. I'm not going to compare it with the sideline shoulder buttons of the RG30XXH, which are also clickier, because they don't come in any like comparison. So I'm gonna keep that on the side. Let's talk about the face buttons. If we take a really nice look at the face buttons, it also resembles with that of the Nintendo Switch. If only the Switch's buttons are like flatter, but these are much more curved. Obviously these Switch's paddings are way more softer, which is basically more softer on the thumbs. This one is also softer, it's just a bit harder on the thumbs as compared to the Switch Lite's face buttons. Alright, so now we got the select and start buttons, which are right over here. They are very nice and responsive. To the left of the face, we've got the menu button, which brings up software's integrated menu list. Now let's talk about the D-pad. Now if we take a look at the D-pad, it reminds me of the classic Nintendo's joypad, because it's kind of like similar to the classic 8-bit Nintendo's joypad. It's also very nice on the thumb. It's not too hard as compared to the RG40XXH, which is equally good, and I think it's more responsive to certain games. So each one has their own merits and demerits. If you're one of those guys who likes to go soft on their thumbs, so you're going to love this D-pad. If you're one of those guys who likes to, you know, make a nice like pressy thumb like myself, I personally prefer this D-pad, but doesn't mean that this is bad. This is also good, responsive and very good. I've played with the D-pad, certain games with the D-pad. The best part of the Smart Pro is its screen. This screen is just too awesome, man. Like, look at the vibrance, look at the color, the palette, everything looks so beautiful on the TrimUI Smart Pro, which I'm not saying that it looks bad on the RG40XXH. It's just that this one excels in that aspect with 720 pixel resolution. You can literally see the vibrance, the difference in the display. So now let's make a side-by-side comparison with the RG35XXH. It looks way more vibrant and more crisp when placed side by side. Let's talk about the thumbsticks, okay? Now we're gonna bring in our juggernaut, the PlayStation Vita. Now the thumbsticks, they are kinda like a knockoff version of PlayStation Vita's thumbsticks, but they are not tacky at all. Personally, I like the PlayStation Vita's thumbsticks, so I'm not going to complain or say much about this. A whole lot of people don't like the PlayStation Vita's thumbsticks, including the boss man, Russ. He doesn't, from Retro Game Corps. He doesn't like the buttons, the thumbsticks of the TrimUI Smart Pro. I think he also has the same kind of impression with the PlayStation Vita as well. I personally, you guys know, I don't really need to explain it. They feel like they're an alternate similar version of the PS Vita's thumbsticks with RGB lighting. That's it. You can customize the lighting patterns. You can change the light patterns through the live area. Head over into System Tools and you're gonna head over to LEDs, Ambilight. You can set them according to your preference. Now there's rainbow. For whatever reason, it's much more subtle. This one is much more out there, you know, like out there. So this is how you customize the RGB light patterns. Now I don't know if you can turn them off completely. I don't see the option to do that. We're gonna get to that later. Now that we're done with the hardware, let's talk about the user interface and the features, okay? First off, the upgraded OS looks good. I wouldn't say the best because I just don't like the background. It makes the icons blend in, which takes a little bit of getting used to. So you can change the theme through the settings. You can select from a set of themes here, but it's just too blendy, man. We've got the best section, which is not the best. I don't know, man. All these collections that we have under this section just don't want to work for some reason. Some of them work, most of them don't. We've also got a media player, a screen recorder, an app section where you have several customization options. So this here is from where you'd be able to make system-wide changes. It says like utility that forces the CPU to run at max speed. So you can overclock, use this tool to scan your game library for bin files and create matching queue files. There's dot files cleaner, there's sorting, there's M3U playlist generator, and you can also format the disk partition. Not recommended. Don't tinker around if you don't know what the fuck you're doing. And then user interface, there's the best section which you can customize through here. There's Moonlight, is be on the same Wi-Fi network in order to use this, otherwise it's not gonna work. And there's a dedicated scraping tool. It's called Scraper. You'd be able to scrape and add in box art of all the games that are available on the system. It's going to do all the work for you. All you have to do is make your device connected to the internet. There you go. Amiga scraping, Atari scraping, Coleco scraping, everything. So you just have to just select it and it's just going to do the work for you. There you go. It says already scraped. And yeah, it's going to do all the work. Okay, you can just go wank off or something. Alright, very nice. Then there's an app called MU Cleaner, I've told you. So which allows you to remove the systems from the main screen, the live area, which do not have any ROMs for them. So basically, if you don't have any ROMs for a specific system or emulator, use this tool to remove them. Now this is something that a whole lot of you might get confused with. This FN key right at the bottom that you can switch. This comes with a whole lot of functionality that can be customized. You can bind the required functions or the set of functions to this FN key. If you head over to FN key setting, which can be found under apps, you're going to see the list of functions that you can bind to the FN key. So I have activated LED off. There is quiet mode, there is silent mode, there is CPU power save, CPU performance mode, turbo button A, B, X, Y. So you can literally like bind all of these. With a flick of a thumb you'd be able to execute these commands. So I'm gonna just show you guys, quickly demonstrate. So I have set the LED off and CPU performance mode with the FN key setting. After that, you're just gonna back off out of the menu and then you're gonna see. So if I flick it to the right, you can see that the LED lights just turned off. Also, since I assigned CPU performance mode, now we just overclock the CPU as well, along with turning off the LED. So that's basically what the FN key does. At the bottom right here is the charging station. Here's the mic, and here is where the SD card slot is, and you can also, there's a headphone jack. And this here is the indicator. It looks very nice when you plug in the charging cable. It just lights up. It looks very nice. I mean, you can see it right now. I already am showing it on the video. And this is the host. Basically, you are going to plug in your USB-C if you want to connect it to the PC. Since we got the A133 Plus chipset, then it's safe for us to play games till PS1. Nintendo DS also plays really well, followed by a mix of Dreamcast and PSP titles. Now the PSP games that comes in with the device run smooth as fuck. I don't know why or how, but I wasn't able to see any cheats activated. It runs at full 100% speed. You can see that this game looks so beautiful on the screen. And yeah, so everything is working so well. I just imported the cheats, but none of them are activated. Some cheats allows you to play certain games by locking the FPS or like increasing the FPS. If we head over into the game settings, it says it's rendering resolution at 1x PSP. I think it was at 2x. I just lowered it down to 1x. Full screen, OpenGL obviously, frame skipping off, number of the most basic settings. very darn impressive. Look at this. See? So there you go. And running at full speed, 100%. For Chains of Olympus, the game is lagging a little bit, and the resolution was set to 2x PSP. I just lowered it to 1. Runs pretty well. It's not perfect. It's running at 100%. Frame rate is like 20. Apart from that, the game is running okay. I mean, I'm not going to complain about this. For a device with limited capability, it's actually running pretty decent. If you're one of those picky enthusiasts, you might not like it due to some of the frame skipping. Or Dreamcast emulation is kind of dodgy. DS emulation is pretty awesome. I don't know what in the name of coding these guys behind Drastic did that makes this emulator so compatible with almost any device. PS1 games runs very well. Now almost all these games are running using RetroArch as the front-end emulation, so I'm not going to go into details about RetroArch. The upgraded OS also brought in Portmaster. Before we jump into Portmaster, another thing that I want to tell you guys. So I was playing this game and it just got quick loaded right from the state where I was in. Now this is another thing. If I shut this off, I just shut it off, right? Now we're gonna, oh, it also has a voice. And boom, we just resumed from where we just left off. This quick resume functionality after shutdown is pretty awesome. It's also a feature that is available on the MuOS as well. If you press the menu button, it's going to bring in the system integrated quick menu. Now that is linked with RetroArch as well. You can save state, load state very quick. There you go. For some reason, when I exited the particular game through the quick menu, this quick system menu, my console just froze. But that only happened once, so if that happens, just shut down, do a hard shutdown. Okay, so let's talk about Portmaster. Now I've tried out Portmaster on this, and it's there. It's kinda a mixed bag. I'm just gonna point out that some of the games don't work. You're gonna just jump right into the game list. I don't know if this device is capable of running Doom 3 though. They did include Doom 3, and the game closed off on me on the first attempt, and on the second attempt the whole system froze, which led me to do a hard shutdown. GTA 3's performance was not as smooth as how I experienced it on MuOS. No doubt, MuOS for Portmaster games. I have a tutorial on the latest MuOS. You can check it out by visiting the link in the description. If you're one of those guys who likes Portmaster games, then go with MuOS. Can't get any better than that. If you want to try out Portmaster games, it's better to stick with the low, like 2D pixelated art style games, the games that won't put too much of stress on this device, okay? Like Celeste, like Axiom Verge. These games you're gonna enjoy a lot. There you go. The game looks freaking gorgeous, man. So yeah, try to play these pixelated style games like 8-bit, 16-bit style games. That's gonna be full enjoyment. Portmaster in general is very easy to use. I have a full-fledged extensive tutorial on that too. If you want to check that out, links in the description. Now, Russ from Retro Game Corps criticized the speakers, okay? He's stating that they sound muffled due to their placement inside the device, which should be somewhere like here, and I think they're placed kind of like away from each other. Now, I personally didn't feel that way. I'm not that technical with sound, so just fucking leave me alone. Now, let's talk about price range and the difference in platforms, okay, from where you're gonna buy them from. Now, this device, when it was released, was more expensive, but now you can get it anywhere ranging from a 75 to slight over 100 Canadian dollars on AliExpress. Now, if you get it for $75 or a bit more, there's a chance it might not come with a memory card. Sometimes it goes, I mean, the lowest I found was like $70 or something, and it did not come with a memory card, with the TF card. If that's something you're okay with, then I mean, by all means, you're gonna have to set up everything from scratch, the ROMs and all of that shit. So yeah, there's that. You also have the option to buy memory cards separately, but they're gonna cost you like around like what, $20-30. So that also adds up. But if you order through Meg DIY, then it will come in exactly like how I've shown while unboxing, because I've checked the item through their website and they comes in with a 128GB memory card, that too with all pre-configured and everything out of the box. You're gonna experience exactly how I am showing through the video, like you're gonna experience exactly the same. And that too, the memory card is good quality. Now you'll be paying about $120 for this, which I still think is good considering you're getting a good 128GB memory card bundled and loaded with ROMs and the upgraded OS, properly configured. You don't need to even tweak around. I'll be leaving the links in the description. That the choice is yours and totally yours. Now I have to say that TrimUI Pro is a very well made console, okay, and also underrated, mostly because of its pricing, but now it's perfect for the price. A very well made handheld that has a premium touch to it. While it has its own set of flaws, I still think it's a worthy handheld. I name it as the Tinkerer's Project because you have a whole lot of things that you can fool around with. People who likes to tweak around should definitely give this a try, because this is one of those handhelds that is very good for experimentation. The screen is another amazing aspect that makes this device even more worthy, so you won't regret it. That's for sure. That's all I had to say about the TrimUI Smart Pro. It's definitely one of those handhelds that you would love to have in your collection. I literally had my eyes on this console until I just got one to review. All the details are in the description, so check them out. If you like this video, please make sure to drop in a like and subscribe. Check out my Vita live streams along with the usual contents. And yeah, I'll be seeing you guys all on the next one. Dr. Brute 7 signing off. Peace.